Welcome to this training video on the core tube cutter. I will be briefly going over on how to set up the core cutter for job cycles, the machine functions, and other features regarding the core cutter performance. Before starting the machine, make sure that a lubricant is inserted into the lubricator on the FRL unit. Connect an air hose to the FRL unit via the port on the filter side. Set the pressure to between 80 to 90 psi using the regulation knob on the regulator. Connect a single-phase power source to the appropriate terminals in the main console. Then on the console front panel, find the power off red mushroom button and pull on it to enable power to the machine. Wait until the HMI screen turns on and the application is loaded. When the core cutter is turned on, make sure that the proc sensor by the knife arm is lit when the arm is fully up. Otherwise, the drum rotation and carriage movement cannot be started. Press the power on button and make sure that the green pilot light is turned on. Then turn the mode switch to manual mode. Next, press and hold the carriage jog forward button to drive the carriage forward. You can check the job details on the main HMI screen to see the carriage position changing while moving forward. The knife arm assembly consists of the knife holding cap, the holding screw with washer, and the cutting knife. Put the knife onto the knife arm shaft, then place the cap onto the shaft pressed up against the knife. Next, put the screw and washer into the hole and fasten down the assembly. Hold the shaft from the other side using an adjustable wrench or channel locks, and tighten the screw down using an Allen key. Measure the inside diameter of the core tube and take note of it. Then measure the outside diameter of the backplate and record it. Next, subtract the backplate diameter from the tube inside diameter and divide the outcome by 2. This measurement is the distance between the pin wall and the edge of the backplate. Locate the 3 pins on the chuck wheel backplate and loosen them with an Allen key. While holding onto the pin, use a measurement tool to press against the pin wall and measure out the calculated distance. Adjust the pin up or down so it reaches the correct position. Then tighten the pin down firmly. Measure the pin position again to see if it moved while being tightened and adjusted accordingly. The core plate holding assembly consists of a key with a holding screw, a large washer plate, and a locking screw with a secondary small washer. Rotate the handwheel counterclockwise to lower the support rollers. Then take an Allen key and use it to remove the key from the drum shaft slot. Then take your core plate and put it onto the drum shaft. Make sure that the out stamp is facing outside of the machine. Rotate the plate until the key slot in the plate lines up with the one on the drum. Insert the key into the keyway slot, then put the large screw ball, small washer, and large holding washer into the drum shaft opening. Fasten down the screw and washer using a large wrench. Double check that the core plate is on the correct side so the tip of the knife lines up with the groove on the core plate. Take the core tube and slide it over the core plate alongside the drum shaft and onto the adjusted holding pins. Rotate the handwheel clockwise to raise the support rollers up against the core tube on the outboard side. There are 3 core grippers located on the chuck wheel back plate. You can turn the individual spikes on the gripper to adjust the tip position for better grip on the tube. Disable the brake on the drum motor to allow the backplate to be rotated by hand. Rotate the wheel so you can get to each core gripper and adjust it manually by turning the knob and sliding it along the slot to the core material. To align the edge of the core tube to the core plate, while in manual mode, press and hold the carriage jog reverse button to drive the carriage backwards. Release the reverse button when the tube edge is aligned with the plate edge. On the side note, 2 potentiometers located in the main console adjust the speed of the carriage. The first adjusts the forward speed while the second adjusts the reverse speed. Turning the knob clockwise will increase the speed and decrease it when turned counterclockwise. To adjust the knife cutting time, press the setup key on the main HMI screen. Then press the entry box under cutting time to enter the desired time in milliseconds. You can test the cutting time by pressing the test cutting time key. While still in manual mode, press the drum run push button to start the drum rotation. Then press the knife cutting position button to do a manual cut on the tube. Press the regular stop button to stop the drum rotation. Before starting a job cycle, always press the reset key on the HMI main screen to clear previous data. Next, press the core cut width entry box and enter 1 inch, then press enter. Next, press the number of cuts box and enter 3.000 for 3 cuts, and then press enter. Press the X load key in between the number of cuts and core cut width entry boxes to enter the entries as a batch. After that, enter a second batch of 2 cuts of 0.75 inch, and then press load to update the starting job totals. You can then press the details key on the HMI screen to view all individual entries and see if they match the entered data. Now you can return to the main screen and then turn the mode switch to auto. Then press drum run to start the drum rotation, and then press cycle start for roughly 2 seconds to begin the job cycle. The carriage will move forward to reach the destination specified by the entered cut width. Once at the destination, the carriage will stop and the knife will lower to cut the tube. The knife will then rise and the carriage will proceed to the next cut. The core cutter will carry out all cuts entered in the job details, whether in batches or individually. Once all cuts are completed, the core cutter will stop the drum from rotating after roughly 3 seconds, which will conclude the job cycle. You can check the job details on the HMI screen afterwards to see the completed job totals. In the case of cut cores being over by a constant distance, you can measure the overcut and input the measurement into the stopping distance located in the setup page. This will take off the specified length for the future cuts for more accurate widths. You can press the stop button mid-cycle to stop the machine from moving. To resume the cycle without erasing data, press power on, then press drum run, and then press and hold cycle start for until the carriage resumes moving, thus continuing the cycle. For test purposes or single cut changes, you can select an individual cut in the details page and enter another value. You can also add on cuts later in the details list by changing a single zero width cut to a non-zero value. When the job cycle is started, the changes will be applied automatically. Both changes should only be performed when all cuts were already inserted through single width entry. The core cutter status screen shows the current state of the core cutter via a numerical value. For example, changing the mode of the machine will change the status to the corresponding number on the screen. The diagnostic screen displays the functions of the core cutter while in a job cycle, and if the functions are active or not. For example, while the drum is rotating, a green yes will appear next to the function. To have the carriage automatically return to the home position, change the mode to manual and then hit the home carriage key on the main HMI screen. The flashing green light indicates that the carriage is moving backwards. It will stop at the very start or if the operator presses either carriage jog button or the stop button. To save a job details list for a future cycle, you can press the Save Recall Job HMI key to go to the Job Save Load screen. Press the Record Number entry box and enter a number from 1 to 20. Then press the Save key to save the job cuts under that job list number. So if the cut list clears after a completed cycle or a reset is performed, you can return to the Save Recall screen and hit the record number entry box. Then enter the particular number that the job was saved under and press the recall HMI key to load the whole cut details list into the active job list. After you confirm the job list has been uploaded, you can use it for the automatic job cycle.